Where hopefully in the next 5 minutes we should be.
Hello! We're doing Sponsor a Puppy today, special. The one thing you do notice is that all the dogs are getting along. There are very few upsets between dogs. There's virtually no barking. And everybody is very, very friendly. All the dogs are socialising, and so are the people.
What is that?
I don't know. I think it's because it's one of the only events in this area that is specific for dogs. And there's not many places you can go these days and take your dog with you on a family event. Everybody's picnicking, everybody's here for the same reason, either to make money from our point of view or to buy things and spoil their dogs.
Dogs actually get along quite well generally, don't they?
They do. I mean, there's very few disputes, and usually if there is, it's probably the owner's fault in the way they've brought the dog up. Rather than the dog.
Isn't a lot of it territorial? Because this is common ground, isn't it?
I mean, it is common ground, but considering, I expect a lot of them have marked their trail round here, there's still no aggression. And everybody's just here. I'm sure a lot of them would like to be off lead and just running and playing, but they're all coping very well, and it's a very pleasant day.
So let's talk about guide dogs now.
Okay.
You're a guide dog person.
I am. I'm a puppy walker, and I'm also the coordinator for the East and Mid Suffolk branch of fundraising. And our aim today is to obviously make as much money as we can that will go towards paying for future guide dogs for the Visually Impaired Society. We're here trying to encourage people to sponsor a puppy for just £5 a month. And again, that's one of the only ways that we do get money for guide dogs. We don't get any government funding or lottery funding. It's purely fundraised or bequeathed in wills and things like Sponsor a Puppy. Last year we had a very well-sponsored puppy, and we actually made as a branch £35,000 last year, and that's just covering obviously a very small area of the country. This year so far I think we're up to about 23,000. But obviously it would be nice if we could break last year's amount. Unfortunately, I'd like to say that we managed to raise enough money for a guide dog to get to retirement, but unfortunately that's £50,000 for one dog to get it from birth to retirement. So we haven't quite made it yet for one whole guide dog's life. They retire on average about 7 to 8 years, but obviously it is health dependent on their ability to still work. Some can work till they're about 10, and obviously if the blind person or visually impaired person is okay with that and the dog is working satisfactorily and has no health issues, that's okay, but the average age is about 8. They come out to the puppy walkers at 6 weeks old, and we bring them up with obviously slightly stricter controls than you would with your pet dog. And we have them till they're about 14 months old, and then they go off to school for 6 months, and then they're taken by a district trainer to work with the visually impaired people that he's got lined up for the dogs. So they normally qualify by about 2–2.5. The reason it costs that much is obviously we pay for all their food, we pay for all their vets treatments, their flea treatments, just so that anybody, no matter what their financial status, can have a guide dog if they need one. There are strict guidelines. You don't have to be completely blind. You can have a variety of different eye conditions, but providing that you will benefit and that your lifestyle is able to cope with the dog and that you will actually use the dog. There's no point if you're a retired person who doesn't go out very much, you only go out once a week, then you wouldn't really benefit from it. But if you're a busy person and you like to get out and you want to regain your independence, then obviously it would benefit you and it would give you back some quality of life. If anything happens to the guide dog owner, then the dog is rehomed. If it's under the age of 3, then it can be retrained for somebody else. If not, then the first port of call is the puppy walker, the person who had it when it was 6 weeks old. They're asked if they would like to take that on as a pet dog. If they're unable to for whatever circumstances, then we do have a very long waiting list for people who are waiting to take on both retired and withdrawn dogs, because we do have a 25% failure rate. So obviously they're all rehomed or retrained for another career.